Fire for them, fire for them. If you're looking for that 35 bag umbrella and all damn thing there, keep it locked with DISUNOMICS podcast.
What's going on, people? DISUNOMICS here, and we're coming to talk about the crime that is flights back home this Christmas. And back home, well, for me, I'm Nigerian, even though I'm going to Ghana. Many people's Ghana, it could be Zimbabwe, it could be Dubai, it could be fucking Pluto. But flights back home this Christmas is looking crazy. For context, if you wanted to fly from the 26th of December and come back, let's say January the 4th, to Lagos, so London to Lagos, cheapest direct, bear in mind this flight is about 6-7 hours, is £1,673. That's the cheapest. And I'm on Skyscanner right now. I'm seeing some flights. You know, you want to get people know that when you fly, you want to get there early and leave late more often than not. Can you get the maximum time on holiday? I'm seeing some flights. You fly British Airways, you leave at 9, and you get home at £3,326. That's a lady's date just, should I say? Jesus. And then if you look at Ghana, same days, 26th to the 4th, 26th December, 4th of January. The cheapest is £2,657. And that's flying BA. It's a 6-hour and 30-minute flight. 2.6 bags. Let me see if there's any more expensive ones. Let's see what in fact, they don't even have that. They only have 2 flights available. That's on Skyscanner. So it's crazy right now. So many people have been asking, why on earth is it so expensive to fly back home during Christmas? So let's look at historic prices to now. Like, I remember seeing £500-700 flights from London to Lagos in December. To be fair, the last time I flew was a very long time ago. Some of my Ghanaian people, they've seen much, much cheaper flights in recent years. So I did a bit of digging, and it's quite hard to find historic flight prices because the airlines are on a no incentive to have this information readily available. In 2009, the cheapest flight was around $597 in December, and the highest was around $933. So if we do a quick conversion, and that's as of today of recording, so 597 is about 436 quid, and 993, about 681 quid. Good old days. This is 2009. Maybe, remember then times the world was going on fire because of the financial crisis. Who knows? And on average, historically, the prices to go on average are around 672 quid. But obviously, we know that this December, it ain't that. So we know it's expensive to go back home. Usually a lot of people take direct flights, but this time I've never heard so many people take indirect flights to Ghana. People flying on airlines and didn't know it existed, bro. TAP Airline, Wizz, Air Morocco, Ethiopian, all these airlines I've never heard before. I can't even lie. I'm not flying Wizz. That plane looks too booky. Looks like Rabina. Bruh. It's mad. What impacts price? That's the main thing. If we know what impacts the price of airline tickets, we can understand why Ghana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Congo, all these prices are so high. So these are the main things: demand, infrastructure, oil, taxes, load factor especially. These are the things that impact the cost of flying. It is important to know that every airline has a very sophisticated computer-based algorithm. These algorithms quickly adjust ticket prices, which is also called yield management. The bottom line is, of course, maximize profits. Their business. The system takes into account many different variables, such as the time you're booking your travel, so what day. You might have heard, it's cheaper to book flights on this day. When you're flying, if it's morning flight, late night, Friday, weekend, if there's a special sporting event or special event on in that period, like the Oscars, for example, or World Cup or the Olympics. And also time and also travel demand. And they take a look at historic data. So obviously, historically, you know what? A lot of people want to fly from London to Lagos this December. That's going to impact the algorithm. What's interesting is that first set of prices of seats that are purchased on each flight are often the cheapest, and they're often sold at a loss. The ticket price increases a little after that until it reaches the maximum price for the last one. This is determine the load factor. Or what is a load factor? Airlines want to fill their plane and maximize profits. In fact, if there's minimal people on a flight, so you don't usually demand impacts supply. The demand of Yeezys are so high, so on a resale market, you can buy a pair of Yeezys for 189 quid, sell them for 250 quid. But if the demand was so low, price was below because you can't shift them. Whereas this doesn't really run true for airlines because of the nature of their product. The product's very expensive. Insurance, staffing, oil, the actual airplanes themselves, there's a lot of cost that goes into it. Taxes. Now, if you only sold like 3 tickets for a flight to Ibiza, for example, often they might have to change the plane that they use because they didn't sell enough. And also, each flight is going to cost the airline a particular amount. And this cost is spread across the passengers. If there's only 3 people on a plane, for example, argument's sake, compared to 100 people, the split of that cost is going to be increased for 3 people because it's very expensive for them to fly. So that's why the load factor is a very, very interesting thing. So back to our load factor. So remember I said the first few tickets are often low because this is how the load factor works. Airlines tend to manage their load factor by constantly changing the prices of the tickets to fill the plane to maximize revenue. On a US domestic flight, the price can change 10 to 15 times. That's mad. Imagine going to buy some Dunks or a pint of milk, and every time you look, the price has changed. 1 minute milk's £1, next minute £17, next minute's 30p. What? It's crazy. In the airline industry, there are 2 types of passengers. There's the business passengers and the leisure passengers. The business travelers, they are more likely to care about dates than the leisure passengers. Because if they're flying for a particular conference or a particular meeting, they have to fly that day regardless of the price. Whereas us, should I fly the 24th before Christmas or don't want to spend Christmas in Ghana and it ends? Do you know what I mean? So leisure travelers aren't flexible on price. The cheaper, the better. Business travelers aren't flexible on dates. The closer to my date, the better. So airlines are constantly trying to strike a balance between the 2 types so they can make a profit. Why fly a plane full of cheap fares when you could get people to pay more? Because when you think about it, business class and regular economy class, we both there for the same plane. We both there arrive at the same time. But business travelers, they may want to have a certain level of comfort, whatever, might want to do work on a plane, all different types of reasons. So I find it very interesting. Airlines know 2 things. There's a certain number of people that want to book their ticket in advance and find a decent price. I was looking for Ghana tickets on February because I wanted to run off on the plug, but I lacked. I thought, 1-3? Nah, I'll come down. That 1-3 didn't come down though. I paid 1-2 to fly indirect. So I could have paid 1-3, 1-4, saved myself several hours of traveling and inconvenience and flown straight to Ghana. Big mess up. But of course, so as I was saying, sorry, I was distracted. They know 2 things. Some people, like leisure travelers, they're going to book their tickets in advance to get the best price, they believe. But business travelers are also going to be on the plane at a later date. They don't even know when. So they need to hold a certain amount of seats for business travelers who will book last minute and they're willing to pay more. Tickets prices jump up and down as a demand for these seats and different types of seats. The ticket price will be doing this higgy hagger. What is load factor? Load factor is really the percentage of seats that are sold on the flight. So if the load factor is low, that means there's not that many seats sold. The load factor is high, that means loads of seats are sold. So if the load factor is low and the demand is low, so the amount of people that have currently purchased tickets on a flight is low and the demand for it, nobody really cares for this flight, is low, the prices are likely to be lower. If the load factor is high, so that let's say a high number of people have already bought tickets, so that, for example, a flight back home to Zimbabwe or Ghana or Congo or South Africa, early on in the year, the load factor is high because a lot of people have bought their tickets in advance because they think they're going to get the best deal. And also demand is high. So many people want to go back home for Christmas. So many people are going to turn up in Ghana, hit our Bloomba, turn up in Lagos, be all over VI. That's going to make the prices high because the algorithms are showing people that, people keep searching this, and in previous years, people buying these tickets. So this is what impacts the prices of tickets. Now, what's really interesting to speak to why there's another layer why it might be more pricey this year is due to our good friend, the global pandemic. Airlines have gone on unprecedented losses. Obviously, if there's lockdowns and countries are locking their borders because they don't want people to be bringing in this deadly virus, air traffic's gone down. Air traffic in Heathrow at one point was down 90%. With a lot of countries like New Zealand, nobody can even enter New Zealand. Period. So air traffic is low. Here, we even banned flying for a several period of time. What this meant is so many airlines were losing money upon money. And a lot of these airlines didn't have big cash supplies, didn't have big cash reserves, because what they were doing, the airline industry has been booming for 10 years. Absolutely booming. And what they've been doing with their profits is effectively buying back their own stock. A lot of them bought their own stock, which of course inflates the value of your stock. It makes sense business-wise for them. But nobody saw a period where for like 18 months, air traffic would be low. The pandemic has severely impacted passenger behavior because not only there was a period of time when people weren't flying, but now you can't really predict. Like, all the previous models don't really work because people's attitude to flying is different. How many of you spoken to, I'm not really sure, should I fly out or not? This country's a lockdown. This country's got different travel entry rules. You have to have a vaccine to get here. COVID tests were here. Lockdown here. Restrictions here. It's a bit long. So what has effectively happened is that the previous models that the airline industry is using for several years have been kind of rendered almost useless. So now they are effectively setting prices blindly. And this is probably what we've seen and also, obviously, this is going to try to recoup. So this is probably a lot of what we've been seeing recently is that the previous algorithms ain't really banging. So a lot of blind prices are being set. And of course, the load factor. Loads of tickets are being sold. Loads of people on board this flight. So yeah, that's probably the main reason I believe that tickets back home is going to cost an arm and a leg. Now people deciding, invest in crypto, Ghana. Chanel bag, Getty December. Invisalign, Lagos. My financial future, my mortgage, Hennessy and Shisha. It's a bit techie. So please let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're flying, how much you paid, how long your flight is, any wacky stories. I'll love to know. Until next time, peace. Oh yeah, make sure you fucking subscribe, yeah?